and the Spirit of Community Award winner. This is NBC 10 News at 10.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Chelsea Jones. Michelle E. Martin is on assignment.
And I'm Jared Floyd. A monumental night for Northeast Louisiana as the President of the United States came to Monroe to rally for Republican candidate for governor Eddie Rispone.
A full recap is moments away, but first we want to hear from the president. He had a lot to talk about, from things that he's done in office, from jobs to trade, and simply put, how America is currently on top. Take a listen.
Reversing decades of disastrous trade policies, Louisiana lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs after the twin disasters of NAFTA and China's entrance into the World Trade Organization. Past leaders did not care one bit what happened to those Louisiana communities because they were getting rich by sacrificing your wealth. After years of rebuilding other nations, we are finally rebuilding our nation. And we are finally putting America first.
And obviously a lot of people went out to support today, and there's always two sides to political rallies, supporters and protesters. NBC 10's Maya Hudgens spent the afternoon speaking to people on both sides.
As she was across the street at City Hall, joins us now with everything that happened outside of the rally. Maya, what were those people saying?
Chelsea and Jared, several gathered across the street from the Monroe Civic Center for tonight's rally as they protested against President Trump and Rispone. They started around 1:30 this afternoon and didn't leave until they saw Trump drive by. While thousands gathered for the Monroe Trump rally, many remained across the street protesting for Governor John Bel Edwards.
Well, it's a good history-making event for the city, but the aims and the purpose of the economy is entirely different.
President Donald Trump endorsed Republican candidate for governor Eddie Rispone for the runoff election. Protesters say if Rispone wins, Monroe locals will suffer.
Everybody out here is on fixed income, need their Medicare, need their Medicaid. I don't feel like it's right for him to come out and do that, because Rispone said that he's going to knock it off. I don't think that's fair.
In addition, some are skeptical about President Trump's visit to Monroe, calling it just an act.
Honestly, I feel like it's a money grab, and I feel like they're trying to intimidate us because we're a small town and they're having people shipped from all over the country to be here.
Ultimately being the voice for those who may be afraid.
We believe that we're talking, we're fighting for others that maybe not have the encouragement that we have to do.
But an hour into expressing their First Amendment right, police told them to stay back. Trump and Rispone protesters started right here on the grass across from the Monroe Civic Center until police told them they had to be on the sidewalk of City Hall. They came back a second time and told the protesters they had to be 100 feet away from the street if they wanted to protest, which puts them on City Hall's steps. Now, they may seem far away right now, but they're still getting their point across.
They're pushing us all the way back over here to try to hide us, but we will be heard and we will fight and we will win.
Though Trump made his appearance Wednesday, these protesters believe Governor Edwards still has a chance of winning the runoff against Rispone.
Yes, ma'am, he still have a chance to win, and he's going to win because he is my governor.
Some protesters were encouraging locals to hit the polls and cast their votes. Early voting ends this Saturday, November the 9th, and the runoff election will be held on the 16th. For your local election headquarters, I'm Maya Hudgens.
Maya, thanks. Continuing our coverage of President Trump's arrival in Monroe, while there were some who obviously weren't too happy about the president's visit, others got an early start to await his arrival. Here's a quick look at some who traveled far and wide to see the president speak tonight.
And we have been here since 4:30 this morning. We are excited about this. 4 years, baby, 4 more years.
Very excited. We drove all the way from Lafayette this morning to come, so.
Yay, Trump, USA! Stand beside him. Let's stand up for him. President Trump is the man for us.
So excited. We have been waiting on this forever. And it's just going to be just good, President. We just love President Trump.
Everything, adrenaline, being able to see Trump. He's here to support our local farmers.
Every rally is better than the last. We are so lucky to have a president that comes out to speak to us.
Pretty darn excited.
It's great that the president's coming down here to help Rispone get elected as governor, to help his campaign in 2020, for all these great supporters behind us to come here and see the president, see what we're doing today.
God bless the United States of America, and God bless President Donald J. Trump and his family.
All right, a lot of people excited, and many Republicans also excited as they stood in unity beside businessman Eddie Rispone tonight, like Congressman Ralph Abraham, Senator Bill Cassidy, many others, and the message just seemed to be unity.
Yep, and before the rally, we caught up with Eddie Rispone to hear what he says the journey has been like and what he believes Louisiana needs.
But it took two of us to work very hard for many months to make sure that John Bel Edwards is not our next governor. We are last when it comes to the economic development, when it comes to jobs, everything. We are last in many areas. I'm going to let the job creators know that we're back open for job creators. You know, we're not going to be running them off. We've had over 70,000 of our citizens leave this state to go to work somewhere else. And so just the fact that they have a businessman, an outsider, someone that's not afraid to go up against the status quo, business is going to start coming back. We're going to grow our business that we have here. We're going to attract business again. The president has a lot of impact. He gets people thinking about, let's do something different if we want a different outcome. He's here doing early voting. He knows that Louisiana is a sportsman's paradise. And so we have everyone ready to go fishing or hunting, particularly duck hunting and deer hunting this opening season on the 16th. So we encourage them, let's don't get caught on a deer stand or a duck blind on the 16th and you hadn't voted. So let's go vote.
Well, President Trump wasn't the only one in town. So was Governor John Bel Edwards today. He went door to door and even had a rally of his own. NBC 10's Isabel Albritton was there, and she spoke to supporters on how they're feeling about the president's visit.
I don't care what nobody says. John Bel's winning election day.
Governor John Bel Edwards greeted campaign volunteers to thank them for their hard work supporting his campaign. He spoke about President Trump's visit, saying Eddie Rispone is using Washington, D.C. to win over Louisiana, while he's working to put the state first. Residents say they see the difference between their campaigning tactics.
He's there for us. He's not just there, but he's willing to come out of his way to see about us and make sure that things are very comfortable.
Edwards also stopped by the South Point retirement community to visit with residents.
It was a tremendous appreciation. When he seemed to walk in that door, it was like a ray of sunshine.
Younger residents are also going door to door to encourage voters to use their voice.
And it's very important. My vote matters and your vote matters.
And he is the governor that will keep us moving forward.
Edwards says the early voting poll numbers are looking encouraging for his campaign. For your local election headquarters, I'm Isabel Albritton.
All right, Wanda Ashley, you're tonight's winner of our Jim Taylor dealership's $100 gas card. Now, that's if you call before our newscast ends at 318-807-0900. Now, if you want to win some gasoline, register at one of the Jim Taylor dealerships or head to our website and click on the contest tab. And, of course, don't forget to watch 10 at 10 on 10.
Now, your local weather with Chief Meteorologist Jared Floyd.
Look at the live storm tracker Doppler radar brought to you by E.Orem Young. Rain starting to develop across western Arkansas. It's been there through most of the day, but starting to see a lot more in radar range at this point. The clouds are also starting to pick up as well. Enjoyed a day filled with sunshine, pushing us back into the upper 70s through the afternoon. Now paving the way to a lot of this rainfall transitioning southeastward as we head through the overnight. Now, I know a lot of folks are seeing the rain that is developing currently immediately ahead of the frontal boundary and thinking that's a lot of rain headed our way. Well, it's going to take a lot of changes as that frontal boundary dives southeastward tonight. It'll undercut a lot of this rainfall. And at this point, we expect mid-level and low-level winds to kind of ramp the moisture up and over the front as it advances southeastward, creating the overrunning shower activity that we expect through the day tomorrow. Future Tracker kind of advertises it better than, quite frankly, I can explain it. Winds back out of the southeast. You can see rain feeding in ahead of the boundary. But as the front starts to move and make its way southeastward tonight, expect most of the rain to kind of phase back behind the front. and that's more lifted, elevated shower activity, which means more consistent light to moderate rainfall, but it also takes the thunderstorm activity and kind of squashes that potential, or at least limits it very much so as we head through the day tomorrow. Again, expansive showers through the afternoon. Northerly winds will kind of funnel in, making for a very chilly evening. So if you have high school football plans tomorrow night, we will be trending cooler, and obviously skies will start to be clearing. Will generally start clearing as we head into Friday morning. This is about 10 a.m. Again, kind of drying from the north to the south, so those skies will be slow to clear, and with that, some spots may struggle to get out of the 40s for Friday afternoon. Many spots not really cooling off much thanks to the added cloud cover, upper 50s to near 60, and that's pretty much where we expect to hang around through the overnight. Clouds will continue to pick up, rain chances obviously close to zero until daybreak. High temperatures tomorrow, topping back out most spots in the mid-60s. Showers likely, cooler and breezy. Winds north between 10 and 20 miles per hour, although you may not feel the strongest winds until much later in the day, maybe even after sunset in some spots. Low to mid-50s for highs on Friday, upper 50s to near 60 on Saturday. A quick warm-up ahead of another big cold front as we go into the first of next week. That could knock highs into the 40s for highs by Wednesday and Tuesday, Wednesday. Morning lows could actually see our first hard freeze of the season by that point as well.
Oh, that's a big deal.
Yes, so make sure that you the heaters are in working order, all that stuff over the next couple of days.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jared. Coming up on NBC 10 News at 10, life-saving information could be at risk. That's due to an equipment issue in Concordia Parish. Meteorologist Brian Briggs is breaking down those details when we return.
How would you like to consolidate your credit card bills, all loans, medical bills, all your bills, into one payment of just $100 per month? That's the power of bankruptcy. If you qualify, just $100 per month. Call the bankruptcy specialist, E. Orem Young.
Eddie Rispone takes aim at fellow Republican Ralph Abraham.
An ad released by Eddie Rispone is filled with, quote, baseless personal attacks.
You know those ads you're running against me and my family are lies. When you stand up here and tell blatant lies to the good people of Louisiana, you're the politician, not me.
We just can't trust phony Eddie Rispone.
It's just not right, you know it.
The 113th State Fair of Louisiana in Shreveport is going on now, and this is the final week. Hey, Arklamiss, you're invited. Enjoy plenty of great food, live music, exciting rides, and free shows. Sunday is Veterans and Military Appreciation Day. All veterans, military, and their families get free admission with a parade starting at 2 p.m. Follow us on Facebook and check us out on the web. Closed Mondays and Tuesdays. Sunday is the final day. The State Fair of Louisiana, y'all. Just one big gumbo of fun.
How would you like to consolidate your credit card bills, all loans, medical bills, all your bills, into one payment of just $100 per month? That's the power of bankruptcy. If you qualify, just $100 per month. Call the bankruptcy specialist, E. Orem Young.
Communa Health Services. New name, same quality care.
Start your mornings with NBC 10 News today.
Preparing you and your kids for the day with the Bus Stop Forecast, showing you how to plan.
The Bus Stop Forecast on NBC 10 News today, sponsored by Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys.
Delta veterans bring their annual expo and celebration to Chenault Aviation and Military Museum, Saturday, November 9th. Enjoy live music, free food, kids activities, free services on site for veterans, and much more. Don't miss it.
NBC 10 News at 10 continues.
Our live storm tracker Doppler radar is surrounded by others around the country that also provide life-saving information in the event of severe weather.
In Concordia Parish, though, they could be left in the dark due to an infrastructure project in Mississippi. NBC 10's Brian Briggs caught up with the National Weather Service in Jackson to find out more.
KDGX is one of the few radars across the country that provides weather images for the Arklamiss. While stationed in Brandon, Mississippi, our river parishes benefit most from it. Soon, some locations could see an interruption in radar images.
A radar is essentially a giant flashlight, sending out energy into the atmosphere so we can see what kind of precipitation is going on. And just like a flashlight, if you stick something in front of that beam of energy, well, you're going to get a shadow.
The city of Brandon is building a water tower. It's close to the radar. It has a potential of blocking some radios from the radar from the waves that we sent out from the National Weather Service office.
Water towers, buildings, even trees can cause this issue. In this case, the new water tower will block 3 to 4 radials of up to 3.4 degrees. This means a pie-shaped shadow will develop to the southwest, meaning a good chunk of Concordia Parish will be without data. The project is not 100% set in stone, but the National Weather Service office in Jackson, Mississippi is going to continue to provide life-saving information during severe weather.
We're going to still use every tool that we have to our disposal. We'll use the radar at the University of Louisiana Monroe. That will be one of the tools we'll use. We'll use the tool at Fort Polk. You don't want to have any limitation to any tool that you use, especially as it relates to severe weather. But we've communicated with the city of Brandon about the block. They understand that the radar will be blocked with the water tower.
That was meteorologist Brian Breach reporting. And also a note, our live storm tracker Doppler radar still covers Concordia Parish, so you still will be covered in the event of severe weather. It's just important for making warnings and creating that and such as well. All right, well, look at the weather forecast is about 5 minutes away.
Exactly, and right after the break, HBCU's funding is at risk. Here's Jesse Tenor with more.
Federal funding for historically black colleges and universities has expired. A bipartisan group of senators, educators, and students are calling on Congress to act now. I'm Jesse Tenor in Washington, and I'll have that story coming up.
Thursday on NBC 10 News Today, our coverage of the president's visit continues as we recap this day in history.
And Lexi is tracking another cold front, bringing with it some showers and setting us up for a chilly weekend, too. That's Thursday starting at 5 here on NBC 10.
Communa Health Services. New name, same quality care.
Eddie Risponi says,
I know what it takes to create jobs. I know how to fill those jobs for Louisiana citizens.
oh really? It's Risponi who got caught trying to hire foreign workers when Louisiana's unemployment was one of the highest in America. And Risponi's company benefited from over $500 million in corporate tax breaks intended to create Louisiana jobs, but only resulted in 19 new hires. Phony Eddie Risponi. He's not for you. Paid for and authorized by Gumbo Pack.
Jim Fannin is attacking Jay Morris on taxes. Excuse me, Jim? You voted to raise the sales tax and eliminate tax holidays. You authored a bill to eliminate all tax deductions, credits, and exemptions for working people. Eliminate the home mortgage interest deduction, the school expense deduction, the military service deduction.
My record is out there for anyone to see. My record is out there for anyone to see.
Jim, your record for more taxes is clear. A response to another Fannin attack ad.
Vroom, vroom, vroom. We do glass rooms, screen rooms, and also bathrooms. If your wheels are spinning about a home remodel, we've been professionally installing one-day bathroom remodels, safety tubs, glass rooms, screen rooms, and much more since 1976. Race over to our showroom today at 402 Cypress Street in West Monroe, or give us a call at 324-1232. Tote Back Gloves and Bath Planet, a name you can trust.
Helping families make the right decisions during one of the most difficult times is our top priority at Kilpatrick Funeral Homes. Here's what families are saying about us.
You are simply wonderful. Thank you so much for all your kindness during this traumatic loss.
This great team does a lot, and they've taken care of my mom and dad and many other family members that have passed over the years.
Kilpatrick's honors your feelings and respects your budget. Choose wisely. Choose Kilpatrick Funeral Homes.
Communa Health Services. New name, same quality care.
NBC 10 News at 10 continues.
Federal aid for America's historically black colleges and universities has now expired.
And Congress can't agree whether to pass a short or long-term plan to restore the funding. Jesse Tenor has the story.
It's because of VUU that I am a better version of myself.
Jalen Hodges is a junior biology major at Virginia Union University, one of more than 100 historically black colleges and universities.
I conducted research in our neuroscience and chemistry laboratories.
Opportunities like this for the hundreds of thousands of students at HBCUs earn jeopardy because Congress has yet to approve federal funding for the next school year. Hodges, along with senators and educators, called for action now. Dr. Aminta Brew, president of Bowie State University, joined them.
Imagine trying to conduct a business, lead a business, without knowing what budget you have.
The House approved bipartisan legislation last month to extend the funding, but the Senate has yet to agree on a solution. Alabama Senator Doug Jones has led the push for a temporary 2-year solution to prevent HBCUs from moving ahead with layoffs and cuts to student programs.
Every day that passes without a renewal, these schools are one day closer to having to make very tough decisions that could do permanent damage.
But Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander calls Jones' legislation a budget gimmick. Alexander wants a permanent funding plan for HBCUs now, which he included in a higher education bill package.
Unfortunately, the bill that he proposes is a shortcut the House took, which has no way to pass the Senate.
However, this group of Alexander's colleagues disagrees. They say it's important that their plan make it to the president and set students' minds at ease. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
All right. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. It's your thing.
You ready for the cold?
Nah, I am. Yeah, I'm from the East.
Okay. So
Are y'all ready?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as ready as we'll ever be. Get those heaters in working order. Cold front's coming tomorrow. Full look at the forecast. It's coming up next.
Catch it, the LSU versus Alabama Super Preview Special. Hear from LSU coaches and players as they gear up for the big game. Friday, November 8th at 6:30 on NBC 10. Sponsored by Creed & Creed, your local injury attorneys.
It is a great honor and with a lot of pride that I get the opportunity to introduce our speaker, Governor Bobby Jindal.
We have a major budget crisis in Louisiana.
$2 billion shortfall.
He's done a phenomenal job.
Drastic cuts are feared.
Students are worried about their TOPS funding.
I am so proud of what you've done.
Higher ed and healthcare are facing deep cuts.
That massive budget deficit.
Please help me in welcoming Governor Bobby Jindal.
Thank you all very much.
Max Fresh Market. We're all about fresh.
Hi, I am Reggie McDaniel with your local hometown Max Fresh Market. Friday night football is a family tradition. We can make that more enjoyable with a tailgate trade. Remember to be safe. Have a great season. We thank you for your support to our family.
Max Fresh Market. We're all about fresh.
My husband, Matt, is great. But when it comes to finances, well, he's not the best. For example, he financed his truck at a pretty high interest rate. But thank goodness for Ouachita Valley. For a limited time, they are refinancing auto loans from other lenders, and if they can't lower your interest rate, they'll give you a $25 Visa gift card just for trying. They're gonna save us a lot of money and make loving him a little easier. Ouachita Valley, making good things happen.
Thursday, Jimmy's heading to Austin, Texas with Matthew McConaughey, Chip and Joanna Gaines, and Gucci Mane. And tonight, Fallon welcomes Henry Golding and Magic from Dan White. New Tonight Show. Then Seth has Jim Gaffigan. All new tonight.
Your local weather with Chief Meteorologist Jared Floyd.
All right, here's a look at Future Tracker, and again, cooler air is headed our way. Now, just for reference, this gray line right here is the 32-degree line, the freezing mark. And again, it'll waffle back and forth with daytime heating, so kind of take that into account. Next blast of cool air headed our way on Thursday, and that's when the cold front moves through. So tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, you can see obviously the freezing line not necessarily getting into our area, but it is bringing some cooler air. Another quick warm-up in store on Sunday as we kind of transition out of one frontal boundary and into another one. But the next shot of colder air as we go into the first and middle of next week is a little bit deeper, bolder blast of colder air that will push much farther into the central and southern United States. And again, could bring us our first hard freeze of the year, if not by Tuesday morning, probably by Wednesday morning. And again, we're talking about teens and 20s across portions of Missouri, maybe even colder than that. So again, obviously kind of right on par with mid-November, which is usually kind of when we see one of those first big blasts of colder air. Mid to upper 50s overnight, clouds continue to gather. Mid-60s for highs tomorrow with the rain likely through much of the day, especially the afternoon and evening. Winds breezy out of the north. Look at the rest of the forecast as we head through the next 7 days. And again, we scoot the rain out pretty quickly as we go into Thursday night, early Friday morning. Low to mid-50s for highs, morning lows near the freezing mark on Saturday, and then another shot of colder air, as I mentioned, knocking temperatures back into the 40s by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
I have jackets for that. I don't know if everybody else is ready for
Get the coats out. Gonna need them.
All right. Well, when we come back, we are just a couple of days away from LSU's big showdown with Alabama. But how much will tickets cost now that President Trump plans on making a special appearance?
Probably pretty expensive.
Plus, it was the season opener tonight for the Tigers. We'll have those highlights next in sports.
Ashford Place Apartments has great specials throughout the month. Ashford Drive, West Monroe. Lease today.
I know people love the dish remote. It's great. So why build in a Google Assistant? I mean, who really needs a TV remote that can turn the thermostat up?
Change temperature to 72.
the lights down,
Dim the lights.
and still access their DVR.
Play real.
Actually, some people could absolutely use a remote like that. The new Dish voice remote. Dish, tuned in to you.
Liberal John Bell Edwards.
I voted for Secretary Clinton.
You could put half of Trump's supporters into what I call the basket of deplorables.
Like Hillary, Edwards supports radical policies. Edwards supports illegal immigrants getting taxpayer-funded benefits and opposed President Trump's full immigration plan to secure our borders. John Bell Edwards, too liberal for Louisiana.
Vote John Bell Edwards out.
Paid for by RTA Right Direction PAC.
He's the high school quarterback who grew up in a law enforcement family, the West Point cadet who defended the honor code, and an Army Airborne Ranger, a hunter who supports the Second Amendment, and a father who lives his values every day.
I'm John Bell Edwards. I've dedicated my life to serving our country and putting Louisiana first. And with your support, that's how I will continue to lead.
Governor John Bell Edwards.
My record on keeping taxes lower for businesses is out there for anyone to see. But you can't rely on a foreclosure lawyer running for a Senate seat to be the source for the truth. I think you'll agree, we don't need any more pro-tax lawyers in the Senate.
Hi, I'm Dr. Marshall Sanson of Sanson Family Medicine in West Monroe, Louisiana. You now have lots of choices for walk-in clinics here in town, so why choose us?
We have some of the shortest wait times in town with a friendly staff to help take care of you.
If you've not been to our clinic, come by and give us an opportunity. Once you have, you will not want to go anyplace else.
Our family taking care of your family. Sanson Family Medicine.
Advantage Health Plan, we're always on the go. That's why we get our news from the Fox 14 NBC 10 mobile news app. Download the app today to get faster news updates and breaking news alerts. Best of all, it's free. Brought to you by Advantage Health Plan.
Now, your local sports with Spencer Tillis.
So as it turns out, President Trump was actually in town today. What? Who knew that, right? It snuck by. But anyway, while he was in town, he actually is planning on making a couple of stops. And one of those includes maybe going to the big LSU versus Alabama game on Saturday. Now, the news that he might make that appearance has already had quite an effect on the ticket prices.
We have LSU Alabama tickets right now. Prices starting at $345 per ticket.
Basically, a $300 get-in ticket right now, and a $400 upper side, and a $500 lower, and it can go up to as much as you want for the best seats in the house.
How much did people's game plans change when they heard President Trump was likely headed to Saturday's game?
You've had a few people who gives them a reason not to go, not to pay the higher prices, of course, to sit at home. But then again, you have the people double or triple. Hey, man, the president's going to be there. I'm going to be there. How many times am I going to be able to sit in the same place as him and say I've been there with him? So it's definitely helped the price of the ticket and just the euphoric atmosphere is going to happen this Saturday.
The brokers at ATIX tell us they're also selling more on the LSU team side than normal for a visiting team.
It's no doubt the biggest one. It's Alabama's schedule. It's the first top 20 team basically they've played. It's a no-brainer. Everybody's been waiting on this game. Maybe not even going to some games and promising themselves to go to this game. That's why the demand is so high.
But brokers warn it's also likely to be a bad game for counterfeit tickets and money and to go through a reputable authorized source.
I'm excited just because I know he was at that national championship game where to thank Jesus and gave God all the glory. So, and we won that one, so you never know.
Speaking of football, we wanted to make sure to let you know that we made a mistake during yesterday's newscast about some high school football games that are going on this week. Now, with the bad weather that is on the way, we have a report that a bunch of the games that were going to be on Thursday were moved to Friday. That was our mistake. Only the West Monroe game, which was originally scheduled for Thursday, has been moved to Friday. We had, however, said that every single game, that was inaccurate, only just the West Monroe game. All the other games that were planned to be played on Thursday will still be played on Thursday night. We're sorry about the mix-up and any confusion that might have caused. Switching gears, college basketball season is officially here, and it was the season opener today for the GSU Tigers as they welcomed Division III East Texas Baptist University into town. Grambling looking to take another big step in what is year 3 with head coach Dante Jackson leading the way, and they look good early on. Kick to the corner, Zahad Munford right there. The freshman knocks down the triple try. A few minutes later, Jay Head spinning baseline, skip pass to the far corner, and Kelton Edwards showing off the range as well. The Tigers not slowing down from there. Ivy Smith Jr. over the top to Trayvon Bunch, and he finishes it with a big flush. Grambling starts the year 1-0. They take it 102-70, your final. Few other games going on tonight as well. Louisiana Tech opened up the season over at Corpus Christi. They rolled to an 82-49 win. 4 players in double figures for the Dogs, led by Daquan Bracey's 14. And UAM nearly pulled off the upset over at Arkansas State. The Boll Weevils were leading in the second half. They ultimately fell, though, 65-49. That is going to be it for sports. We'll have one last look at your forecast coming up next.
Shop and experience historic downtown West Monroe.
It's a stampede of savings at Cavender's, and Justin work boots are on sale. Save $15 on the best selection of hard-working styles by the name you trust to keep you safe and comfortable. Only at Cavender's, your Justin headquarters.
We all know Eddie Rispone is no President Trump. Before running for governor, Rispone championed Common Core education, promoted by Washington bureaucrats under President Obama. Rispone's company added its name in a newspaper ad in strong support of Common Core. And Rispone even demanded the legislature defeat the repeal of Common Core. Now candidate Rispone claims he's greatly opposed to Common Core. Really, Eddie? Take a position. It's what a leader does.
For years, I've been involved in the greater West Ouachita community, serving on many boards, assisting nonprofit organizations, including Smiles Park at Caroli. I sold my West Monroe business so I can use all these life experiences to be the best full-time representative for West Ouachita. My opponent works full-time at a local hospital, plus owns another business. The needs are great, and the challenges are many that require the next state representative's full-time attention. I'm Foy Gadberry, and I ask for your vote.
There's a lot I want to tell you about my husband, Eddie Rispone. He's hardworking and never still, unless he's in a church pew or a deer stand. Eddie is soft-spoken but strong. When he gives his word, he keeps it. And Eddie is big-hearted. Just watch him with our 24 grandkids and watch him melt. I don't know much about politics, but I know this. As governor, Eddie will make you proud every day.
This is money at other banks. They act like it's theirs. This is money at Homeland Bank. We know it's yours. We take great care of your money. With competitive interest rates on CDs, money market, and savings accounts, we help it grow. We put it to work here in our community to help you start a new business or buy a new house. Real customer service and attention to detail like banking used to be. We're Homeland Bank, your local bank. Where's your money?
At Cracker Barrel, we're cooking up warm feelings of home this season with country fried turkey, hand-breaded, fried till crispy, and topped with holiday herbed gravy. Our take on a festive favorite is back, and it's only at Cracker Barrel. So come on home for the holidays. Come on home to Cracker Barrel.
5 steps for perfect winter skin.
5 steps. My skin gets so dry and itchy, I need serious relief. That's why I use O'Keeffe Skin Repair. It's 48-hour moisture in one use and guaranteed relief for dry, itchy skin. Thanks to O'Keeffe's, I got my skin back.
This one's for the fans. It's Captain D's $5.99 fan favorites. It's all the seafood dishes you love at a price you'll love even more. Just $5.99. And the crowd goes wild when the captain is calling. Captain D's.
Sports, sponsored by Ken's Coffee Service.
Quick look at the 7-day forecast shows afternoon highs in the mid-60s with rain likely through the afternoon tomorrow. Most of the rain out by early to mid-evening. Low 50s for highs on Friday if the skies can clear quick enough. If those pesky clouds hang around into the afternoon, we may not get out of the 40s. Morning lows near the freezing mark on Saturday. Another cold front Monday morning, bringing more rain and another big cool down with highs falling into the 40s. Maybe some spots even in the low 40s as we head toward Tuesday and Wednesday of next week.
What a big night. We have cold weather coming up. The president came to town.
Right, all over the place.
Been busy.
Yeah, and I'm tired.
Been busy. Yeah. I think everybody is across the entire community at this point. It's
Especially.
been a very emotional and exciting day.
For many.
Yes.
How you feeling?
It was a lot going on. Not so much for sports, but you know, for everyone else around here, it felt like a busy day. First time in what, 40 years? Was that
40? Yeah.
Well, 88, somewhere in that ballpark.
Oh, well, I thought it was 40.
Reagan.
We're not good at math. We're journalists. But yeah, it's such a monumental moment for everyone, and thanks for tuning in for us. That's going to be it, though, for tonight. Anna, Bodie, Lexi will have you up to the minute the moment you're up, so make sure you tune in tomorrow morning and have a great night.